What's up everybody, Jeremy Weiss here with Weiss Tech Hockey, and in this video I wanted to show you one of my favorite one-on-one drills. And the reason I like this drill so much is it works on gap control, works on passing, swinging through lanes, and on top of that there are a lot of different variations that you can add to make it more complicated or work on specific elements with your team. So this is the Michigan Tech one-on-one. We'll pull up the rink here and you can see what we've got. So you can see we've got a lineup of defensemen here with pucks, another line of defensemen on the same side of the ice with pucks, two cones in each corner, and then a lineup of forwards here and a lineup of forwards here. So on the whistle, all four lines, first player in all four lines leaves at the same time. Here's what the defensemen do. So the defensemen are going to take and they're going to go down around the first cone, turn, and then misdirect around the second cone and pop up right through the middle. Same thing over here. Down, whoops, drew that a little bit wrong here. Let me start over. Down around the first cone, inside and misdirect around the second cone. So it's almost like a little figure eight, half of a figure eight. Then they pop up through the middle of the two cones. Okay, while this is happening, the first forward of each line is swinging down and timing it out, watching and swinging through the middle lane in time to pick up a pass. And I'll draw this guy first and then we'll draw in the passes after. Okay, same thing, swinging down low, present himself as an option through that middle lane. Okay, defenseman steps up, makes that pass. Perfect. Hard on the ice, stick pass, and then the forward takes and starts up ice. Okay, so far so good. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. After the defenseman makes the pass, then here I'm going to draw this actually in a different color as well, so it's not going to be too complicated. After he makes the pass, he's got to close the gap on the opposing forward, so it's actually the same forward that left from the same side of the ice as him, but coming at him from the other direction. So he's going to come up, close that gap, and back up to play the one-on-one. Same thing over here. Closes the gap, backs up to play the one-on-one. So now it's shaping up to be a one-on-one between this player and this forward and this defenseman here. Okay, so that's normal. Now, you can let that go for a few times as they're getting used to the drill. Then, here's where it gets a little bit more fun, a little bit more complicated. If you decide to, as a coach, you can blow the double whistle. And the double whistle will signal that each of the players, each of the forwards, has to change direction. So let's just say the forward was skating up ice, is about to play the one-on-one. He hears the double whistle. Now he has to turn directions. So he loops back, and the defenseman will have to close the gap on the new forward. So where he was closing the gap on this guy, these two together, now he's got to reconfigure, close the gap again on the new forward. Now you can do the double whistle as many times as you want. Usually I do it 1 or 2 times per turn for each player. So then, he closes the gap on the new defenseman, plays a one-on-one again. So that is how the first phase of the Michigan Tech one-on-one goes. What I'm going to do now is just go ahead and clear off most of these lines. And then I'm going to show you another variation of this that works pretty well. So the defenseman will still do the same thing, and this is how you can turn it into a Michigan Tech 2-on-1 drill. So instead of having all the forwards in the corners there, what you're going to do is put half the forwards in the corner, still in the same spot, but then you're going to add 2 new lines of forwards on the blue line, on the opposite side of the ice. So now on the whistle, this forward is going to swing down low. The corner forwards still do the same thing, swing low, but then what's going to happen is the first forward from the new line is going to swing and crisscross. So now basically the pass comes up, and this defenseman will, after making his pass, he'll have to close the gap on the 2-on-1. So it comes up, close the gap, back it up as a 2-on-1. Obviously the same thing is happening from the other side. So after this guy makes his pass, he'll have to get up ice, close his gap, and back up to play the opposing 2-on-1. But that's another variation you can add. Same rules can still apply. You can still do the double whistle, and then everybody has to change directions basically. Both sets of forwards change directions, and the defensemen have to close the gap on the new set of forwards. But like I said, this is a great drill, especially when you're working with gap control on your defensemen. The tendency for the defenseman is to just kind of hang out. I'm just going to draw a little color here. The defensemen tend to just kind of hang out in this area, get caught flat-footed. So if they're doing that, pay attention. If they're doing that, you got to make sure that they're getting outside of the blue line, closing that gap again, and keeping that gap played properly for either the one-on-one or the two-on-one situation. So there's the Michigan Tech one-on-one. Hopefully that one comes in useful for you, and good luck with it.